The blue waters of the Pacific Ocean turned white with foam as something massive crashed from the sky. The impact sent shockwaves across the surface, creating waves that rolled outward like ripples in a pond. Deep beneath the water, Leo felt his underwater station shake violently. What the hell was that? Leo muttered, checking his equipment readings. The sensors showed something big had just hit the ocean about 2 miles from his position. As a deep-sea salvage worker, Leo had seen many things fall into the ocean over the years. Ships, planes, and sometimes space debris. But this reading looked different. Leo grabbed his diving gear and prepared his small submarine. The readings showed the object was sinking fast, heading toward the ocean floor. If there were survivors, he had only minutes to reach them. The submarine cut through the dark water like a knife. Leo's headlights pierced the darkness as he followed the trail of bubbles and debris. What he found made him stop breathing for a moment. A sleek silver ship, unlike anything built on Earth, was falling slowly through the water. Its hull was damaged, with cracks running along its sides. Through the transparent sections, Leo could see lights still glowing inside. "Someone's alive in there," Leo whispered to himself. He moved his submarine closer to the alien craft. The ship's design was beautiful and strange, with curves that seemed to flow like water. Leo had seen pictures of ships like this before, but only in classified files. This was definitely not from Earth. Working quickly, Leo attached his emergency cables to the alien ship. His submarine was small, but it had powerful engines designed for salvage work. He began pulling the craft toward his underwater habitat, a large station where he lived and worked beneath the waves. The journey back felt endless. Leo's heart raced as he wondered who was inside the ship. The craft's life support system seemed to be failing, based on the readings his scanners picked up. Whoever was inside needed help fast. 20 minutes later, Leo docked both vessels at his underwater station. The habitat was his home, a place where he could live safely beneath the ocean while doing salvage work. It had everything he needed: living quarters, a medical bay, and equipment for underwater repairs. Leo put on his diving suit and moved to the airlock connecting to the alien ship. His hands shook slightly as he worked to open the ship's entrance. The technology was advanced but somehow familiar. After several minutes, the airlock opened with a soft hiss. Inside the ship, Leo found her. A young woman lay unconscious in what looked like a pilot's seat. But she was not human. Her skin had a soft blue tint, and her hair was silver like starlight. She wore a damaged uniform that looked both elegant and military. Even unconscious, she looked regal, like royalty. Leo's breath caught in his throat. He knew this face. "Zara," he whispered. Carefully, Leo lifted the unconscious alien woman and carried her to his medical bay. As he worked to stabilize her condition, memories flooded back. 5 years ago, he had been part of Earth's delegation to the Galactic Trade Summit on Kepler Station. Zara had been there as a representative of the Vulcan Empire, one of the most powerful alien civilizations in the galaxy. They had met during a crisis. Rebel forces had attacked the station, and Leo had saved Zara's life when an explosion trapped her in a damaged section. For 3 weeks while the station was repaired, they had spent time together. Despite being from different worlds, they had connected in ways that surprised them both. Leo had started to care deeply for the alien princess. And he thought she felt the same way about him. Then, suddenly, Earth's government had ordered him to leave. No explanation, no chance to say goodbye. Leo had been forced to abandon Zara and return to Earth immediately. He never saw her again. Until now. The medical equipment showed that Zara's vital signs were stable but weak. Her species was similar enough to humans that Leo's equipment could help her. He gave her oxygen and fluids, then waited for her to wake up. 2 hours later, Zara's eyes opened. They were a beautiful shade of purple that Leo remembered well. For a moment, she looked confused, trying to remember where she was. Then her gaze focused on Leo's face. "You," she said in perfect English, her voice filled with anger and pain. "Zara, thank God you're alive," Leo said, moving closer to her medical bed. But instead of relief or happiness, Zara's expression turned cold. She sat up quickly, despite Leo's protests that she needed to rest. "Do not come near me, human," she said, her voice sharp as a blade. "I have traveled across 3 galaxies to find you. Do you know what I have suffered because of you?" Leo stopped moving. The pain in her voice cut through him like a knife. "Zara, I can explain." "Explain." Zara stood up, though she swayed slightly from weakness. "You disappeared without a word. One day you were there, telling me about your world and your dreams. The next day, you were gone. Like I meant nothing to you." "That's not true," Leo said desperately. "You meant everything to me. But I had no choice." Zara laughed, but there was no humor in it. "No choice. You humans always have choices. You chose to abandon me. You chose to make me believe that someone could care about me for who I am, not what I represent." Leo felt his heart breaking as he watched the pain in her eyes. "Zara, please listen to me. I wanted to stay. I wanted to be with you. But Earth's government—" "Lies," Zara interrupted. "My father told me the truth. He said you humans were disgusted by alien contact. He said you left because you could not bear to be near someone like me." "Your father said what?" Leo asked, shocked. Zara turned away from him. "When I returned home after you left, I was heartbroken. I asked my father to send messages to Earth, to find you. He told me he had contacted your government. They said you had requested immediate transfer back to Earth because you found alien contact disturbing." Leo felt anger building inside him. "Zara, that's not what happened. Your father lied to you. Why should I believe you?" Zara spun around to face him. "You had months to send me a message. You could have found a way to contact me if you truly cared." "I tried," Leo said, his voice breaking. "God, Zara, I tried everything. But every communication I sent was blocked. Earth's intelligence service intercepted everything." Zara studied his face carefully. Despite her anger, Leo could see doubt creeping into her expression. "Why?" she asked quietly. "Why would they do that?" Leo sat down heavily in a nearby chair. This was the conversation he had hoped never to have. "Because they discovered your father's real plan," Leo said. "During the summit, Earth's intelligence agents learned that Emperor Velkan was using our friendship to manipulate Earth into joining his empire." Zara's face went pale. "What do you mean?" "Your father planned to use our relationship as leverage," Leo explained. "He was going to claim that Earth owed the Velkan Empire protection and support because his daughter had formed a bond with one of our representatives. He wanted to make Earth a vassal state." "No," Zara whispered. "My father would not do that. The intelligence was solid, Zara. Earth's government gave me a choice: leave immediately and never contact you again, or stay and watch as Earth lost its independence forever." Zara sank into a chair across from Leo. Her hands shook as she processed this information. "But my father told me," she said slowly, "that you humans had rejected all diplomatic contact. He said Earth had closed its borders to alien communication." "That's partially true," Leo admitted. "After I left, Earth did limit contact with the Velkan Empire. But not because we found aliens disgusting. Because we were afraid of being conquered." For several minutes, neither of them spoke. The only sound was the gentle hum of the underwater habitat's life support systems. "I have been so angry," Zara finally said. "For 5 years, I believed that you abandoned me because I was alien. Because I was not worthy of human friendship." "Zara," Leo said gently, "you are the most extraordinary person I have ever met. Human or alien. Leaving you was the hardest thing I have ever done." Tears began to fall down Zara's cheeks. "I stole a warship to come here. I defied my father's orders and crossed 3 galaxies because I needed to know the truth. I needed to understand why you left me." Leo moved closer to her, slowly, giving her time to object if she wanted. When she did not pull away, he knelt beside her chair. "I'm sorry," he said. "I'm sorry you suffered. I'm sorry you believed those lies about yourself. And I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough to find another way." Zara looked at him with those beautiful purple eyes. "You chose your planet over me." "I chose your freedom over everything else," Leo replied. "If I had stayed, your father would have used you as a political tool for the rest of your life. I could not bear the thought of you being trapped in that kind of existence." Zara reached out and touched Leo's face gently. "You were protecting me." "I was trying to protect everyone I cared about," Leo said. "You, my planet, even the relationship we had. I thought if I disappeared cleanly, maybe someday things would be different. Maybe someday we could find each other again. And here I am," Zara said with a small smile. "Here you are," Leo agreed. "But Zara, if you stole a ship to get here, your father must know where you went." Zara's expression darkened. "Yes. And knowing my father, he is probably already mobilizing the fleet." "What do you mean?" "He will claim that I was kidnapped by humans," Zara explained. "He will use my disappearance as an excuse to attack Earth." Leo felt ice form in his stomach. "How long before he arrives?" "The Velkan Empire's fastest ships could reach Earth in perhaps 2 days," Zara said. Before Leo could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the habitat. His communication system activated automatically. "Attention underwater station, this is Admiral Hayes of the Earth Defense Fleet. You are ordered to surface immediately and prepare for boarding." Leo and Zara looked at each other with growing fear. "They found us," Leo said. Through the habitat's viewing windows, they could see lights approaching through the dark water. Military submarines surrounded Leo's station, their weapons trained on the structure. "Attention station," Admiral Hayes' voice came again. "Our sensors detect an alien craft in your possession. You have 10 minutes to surrender the alien occupant or we will board by force." Zara stood up, her expression resolute. "I will not let them harm you because of me." "No," Leo said firmly. "We're in this together now." But as they watched, more and more military vessels appeared around the habitat. Leo realized that Earth's forces had been tracking the alien ship since it entered the atmosphere. They had been waiting for the right moment to strike. "Leo," Zara said quietly, "I fear that my father has already contacted your government. If he claimed I was kidnapped, then your people believe you are a traitor." The communication system crackled again. "Mr. Leo Santos, you are under arrest for treason and unauthorized contact with hostile alien forces. Surrender immediately." Leo felt the weight of the situation crushing down on him. He had saved the woman he loved, only to discover that both their governments were using them as pawns in a larger game. "What do we do now?" Zara asked. Leo looked at her, then at the approaching military vessels, then back at her determined face. Despite everything that had happened, despite all the lies and manipulation, Zara had crossed the galaxy to find him. She had risked everything for the truth. "We find a way to stop this before it becomes a war," Leo said. "But first, we need to survive the next few hours." The alarms continued to blare as the Earth defense fleet closed in around them. Leo and Zara had minutes to decide their fate, and with it, possibly the fate of two worlds. The underwater habitat shook as the Earth defense fleet submarines moved closer. Through the thick glass windows, Leo could see at least 12 military vessels surrounding them, their spotlights turning the ocean around the station into daylight. "Mr. Santos," Admiral Hayes' voice came through the speakers again. "You have 5 minutes remaining. Surrender the alien prisoner or we will breach your habitat." Leo looked at Zara, who was studying the approaching ships with a tactical expression. Despite everything they had just learned about their past, she seemed calm and focused. "They will not listen to reason," Zara said quietly. "To them, I am an enemy combatant. They believe I am here to harm Earth." "Are you?" Leo asked, though he already knew the answer. Zara smiled sadly. "I came here with a damaged ship and a broken heart. I have no weapons except my anger. But they do not know that." Leo moved to his communication console and opened a channel to Admiral Hayes. "Admiral, this is Leo Santos. I request permission to speak with you directly." "Mr. Santos, you are in no position to make requests. Surrender the alien immediately." "Admiral, please listen to me. The alien in question is Princess Zara of the Velkan Empire. She is not here as an invader. She came here seeking answers about events that happened 5 years ago." There was a long pause before Admiral Hayes responded. "Princess Zara is reported as kidnapped by human terrorists. The Velkan Empire has demanded her immediate return and is threatening military action against Earth." Zara's eyes widened. "My father already made his move." Leo felt his stomach drop. "Admiral, that information is false. Princess Zara came here voluntarily. She was not kidnapped. Even if that were true, Mr. Santos, it no longer matters. Long-range sensors show a Velkan fleet approaching the outer solar system. Emperor Velkan claims his daughter is being held hostage, and he demands proof of life within 6 hours." Leo looked at Zara in shock. 6 hours? "My father works fast when he wants something," Zara said grimly. "But why would he mobilize the fleet so quickly? Unless..." "Unless what?" Zara's expression turned angry. "Unless he planned this from the beginning. He knew I would eventually try to find you. He probably hoped I would do exactly what I did." "You mean steal a ship and come to Earth?" "Yes. Now he has the perfect excuse to attack your world. He can claim he is rescuing his kidnapped daughter from dangerous humans." Admiral Hayes' voice interrupted their conversation. "Mr. Santos, we are detecting massive energy signatures from the alien vessel. Stand away from the craft immediately." Leo checked his sensors and felt his blood turn cold. "Zara, your ship's reactor is becoming unstable." Zara rushed to a monitor and began reading the data. Her face went pale. "The damage from the crash is worse than I thought. The quantum reactor is going into cascade failure." "What does that mean?" "It means in approximately 2 hours, my ship will explode with the force of a small nuclear weapon." Leo stared at her in horror. "Can we stop it?" "Perhaps, but it would require manual intervention from inside the reactor chamber. Someone would have to stay with the reactor core during the shutdown sequence." "How long would that take?" Zara checked the readings again. "At least 20 minutes. But the radiation levels would be fatal to any living being." Before Leo could respond, new alarms started blaring. His long-range scanners were picking up massive ships approaching Earth from deep space. "The Velkan fleet has arrived early," Zara whispered. "My father brought the entire battle group." Admiral Hayes' voice came through the speakers, now filled with urgency. "Mr. Santos, we have multiple alien warships entering Earth orbit. This facility is now under martial lockdown. Prepare for immediate boarding. Leo watched through his windows as human submarines began moving into attack positions around his habitat. At the same time, his deep space sensors showed dozens of massive alien ships approaching Earth's moon. "This is exactly what my father wanted," Zara said, her voice filled with anger and sadness. "A conflict that will justify him taking control of Earth." "There has to be another way," Leo said, thinking desperately. "Some way to show both sides the truth." Zara suddenly grabbed his arm. "The quantum communicator in my ship. If we can repair it, we could broadcast directly to both fleets simultaneously." "What would we broadcast?" "The truth. Everything we just learned about my father's manipulation. Everything about why you really left 5 years ago." Leo felt a spark of hope. "Would your fleet commanders believe you?" "Some of them would. Especially Admiral Kess. She has served my family for decades, but she values honor above politics. If she heard the real story from me directly, she might convince the others." "What about the human fleet?" "If we can prove that I came here voluntarily, and that my father has been lying about Earth's intentions, maybe your Admiral Hayes will listen to reason." Leo nodded, feeling determination building inside him. "Let's do it." They moved quickly toward Zara's damaged ship. But as they reached the airlock, another alarm sounded. "Warning," the habitat's computer announced. "Hull breach detected. Foreign vessels are attaching to docking ports." Through the corridor windows, Leo could see human soldiers in underwater assault suits preparing to enter his station. "We're out of time," he said. Zara looked at the readings from her ship's reactor. "The quantum communicator requires the main reactor to function. But if we start the reactor now, the cascade failure will happen even faster." "How much faster?" "Maybe 30 minutes instead of 2 hours. Leo thought quickly. They needed the communicator to prevent a war, but using it would accelerate the ship's destruction. And someone would still need to stay with the reactor to prevent it from exploding. "Do it," he said. "Leo, you don't understand. Whoever stays with the reactor during the broadcast will not survive." "I understand perfectly." Zara stared at him. "I will not let you sacrifice yourself for me again. And I will not let you sacrifice yourself for my world." Before either of them could argue further, the sound of cutting tools came from the habitat's main airlock. The human soldiers would be inside within minutes. "There is another option," Zara said suddenly. "What if we don't shut down the reactor?" "What do you mean?" "What if we let it explode, but use the explosion itself as part of the message?" Leo looked at her in confusion. "I don't follow." "The quantum communicator can transmit across multiple dimensions simultaneously. If we record our message and program it to broadcast during the reactor explosion, the energy release will carry our signal to every ship in both fleets instantly. But we'd still die in the explosion." Zara smiled grimly. "Not necessarily. Your habitat can survive underwater pressure. Can it survive in space?" Leo's eyes widened as he understood her plan. "You want to use the explosion to blast us clear of Earth's gravity well. The habitat has its own life support. If we can seal ourselves inside and use the explosion's force to launch us away from the planet, we might survive." "That's completely insane. Do you have a better idea?" Leo looked toward the sounds of the soldiers cutting through his airlock, then at the readings showing 2 battle fleets preparing for war, then back at Zara's determined face. "Let's be insane together," he said. They rushed into Zara's ship and began working on the quantum communicator. Leo used his engineering skills to bypass damaged circuits while Zara programmed the transmission protocols. "What exactly are we going to tell them?" Leo asked as he worked. "The truth. That my father manipulated both of us to create this conflict. That you left to protect both Earth's freedom and my own. That I came here seeking answers, not to start a war. Leo nodded, connecting the last circuit. Ready. Zara activated a recording device. This is Princess Zara of the Velkan Empire. I am speaking to both human and Velkan forces currently in Earth orbit. I came to this world voluntarily to seek answers about events from 5 years ago. I was not kidnapped. I was not coerced. She paused, looking at Leo. 5 years ago, I befriended a human named Leo Santos during the Galactic Trade Summit. When he disappeared without explanation, I believed he had abandoned me because I was alien. Today I learned the truth. Leo stepped into the recording field. This is Leo Santos, former diplomatic representative of Earth. I was ordered to leave the summit because Earth's intelligence services discovered that Emperor Velkan planned to use my friendship with Princess Zara as justification for making Earth a vassal state. My father lied to me about Leo's departure, Zara continued. He told me that humans found alien contact disgusting. But the real truth is that my father has been planning this conflict for years. He wanted an excuse to bring his fleet to Earth. The princess came here seeking the truth, Leo said. She stole a ship and crossed 3 galaxies not to harm Earth, but to understand why our friendship ended. She deserves better than to be used as a political tool. Zara looked directly into the recorder. Admiral Kess, I know you are listening. You have served my family with honor for decades. I ask you now to serve truth over politics. Earth is not our enemy. My father's ambitions are. Admiral Hayes, Leo added, Princess Zara saved my life during the attack on Kepler Station 5 years ago. She risked her own safety to protect human civilians during that crisis. She is not our enemy. Zara finished the recording. If something happens to us, know that we chose to stand together rather than let our worlds destroy each other. Both Earth and the Velkan Empire are stronger when they work together as equals, not as conqueror and conquered. Just as they finished recording, the sound of the habitat's airlock opening echoed through the corridors. They're inside, Leo said. Zara quickly programmed the message into the quantum communicator and set it to broadcast when the reactor reached critical mass. 15 minutes until transmission. They rushed back to the habitat and began sealing all the internal compartments. Leo's underwater station had been built to withstand enormous pressure, but he had never tested it against an explosion from the inside. Mr. Santos, came Admiral Hayes' voice from the corridor. We know you're in there. Surrender now and no harm will come to you. Leo activated the habitat's internal communication system. Admiral, you need to evacuate your ships immediately. The alien vessel is about to experience a catastrophic reactor failure. Mr. Santos, step away from the alien and surrender immediately. Admiral, I'm not joking. You have maybe 12 minutes to get your submarines to minimum safe distance. There was a pause, then Admiral Hayes' voice came back, more serious. What kind of reactor failure? Quantum cascade. Think nuclear explosion, but bigger. Zara added, Admiral Hayes, this is Princess Zara. Leo Santos is telling the truth. My ship will explode in 11 minutes and 20 seconds. Your submarines need to be at least 50 kilometers away to survive. Another pause, longer this time. Then Admiral Hayes' voice came back. All units, emergency retreat to 50-kilometer perimeter. Move now. Leo watched through his windows as the human submarines quickly moved away from his habitat. Soon, he and Zara were alone again with her failing ship. Are you sure this will work? Leo asked. No, Zara admitted. But it's better than letting our people kill each other. They strapped themselves into the habitat's emergency seats and sealed the final bulkheads. Through the thick windows, they could see Zara's ship beginning to glow with unstable energy. Leo, Zara said quietly, if we don't survive this, I want you to know something. What? 5 years ago, I was falling in love with you. Despite everything that happened, despite all the pain and anger, I never stopped caring about you. Leo reached over and took her hand. I never stopped caring about you either. That's why leaving was so hard. And that's why I crossed the galaxy to find you. The ship's glow intensified. Through the quantum communicator, they could hear confused voices from both human and Vulcan ships as their message began broadcasting across all frequencies. Message transmitting, Zara reported. Both fleets are receiving the signal. On his long-range scanners, Leo could see ships from both fleets beginning to back away from each other as the commanders processed what they were hearing. It's working, he said. They're listening. The alien ship's reactor reached critical mass. For a moment, everything was silent. Then the ocean around them turned white with energy. The explosion launched Leo's habitat upward like a bullet from a gun. The reinforced structure held together as it shot through the water, broke the surface, and continued climbing into the sky. The force was incredible, pressing them deep into their seats as Earth fell away below them. We're in space, Leo said in amazement, watching his home planet shrink in the windows. And we're alive, Zara added. Their improvised spacecraft continued climbing, powered by the explosion's momentum. Around them, both human and Vulcan ships were receiving the complete message about the political manipulation that had brought them to the brink of war. Leo's communication system crackled to life. This is Admiral Kess of the Vulcan Empire to the human vessel. Princess Zara, are you safe? I am safe, Admiral, Zara responded. Did you hear our message? Yes, Princess. And I believe every word. Emperor Vulcan has gone too far this time. The fleet commanders are in emergency session, but I believe we will be withdrawing from Earth orbit. Thank you, Admiral. Another voice came through the communicator. This is Admiral Hayes. Mr. Santos, what is your status? Alive and well, Admiral. The princess is unharmed. Mr. Santos, after hearing your message, Earth Command is prepared to clear all charges against you. Princess Zara, Earth formally apologizes for any misunderstanding about your presence here. Leo and Zara looked at each other and smiled. Over the next several hours, as their improvised spacecraft slowly orbited Earth, they watched both fleets begin to disperse. The Vulcan ship started their journey home, while the human fleet returned to normal patrol patterns. What happens now? Leo asked. Now we change everything, Zara said. My father's manipulation has been exposed to both governments. Earth and the Vulcan Empire can start fresh, as equals. And what about us? Zara smiled. I think we've proven that we work well together. Earth will need an ambassador to the Vulcan Empire. Someone who understands both cultures. Are you applying for the job? Only if a certain human agrees to help me. Leo looked out at the stars, then back at the woman who had crossed the galaxy to find him. I think Earth could use some alien wisdom. And I know the Vulcan Empire could benefit from human determination. Is that a yes? That's a yes. As their habitat was slowly retrieved by a human rescue ship, Leo and Zara began planning the first real diplomatic exchange between their worlds. The political manipulation was over. The lies had been exposed. And for the first time in 5 years, they could build a future together. The rescue ship's captain came on the radio. Princess Zara, we've received word from the Vulcan fleet. Admiral Kess sends her congratulations and says the Empire looks forward to working with Earth as partners, not conquerors. Tell Admiral Kess that Earth accepts the Vulcan Empire's friendship, Zara replied. And tell her that sometimes the best diplomats are the ones who refuse to be used as weapons. Leo squeezed her hand as they were brought safely aboard the rescue ship. They had prevented a war, exposed the truth, and found each other again. But more importantly, they had proven that understanding between different worlds was possible when people chose trust over fear. The universe was full of challenges, but Leo knew that humans and aliens working together could overcome anything. After all, they had just turned a nuclear explosion into a diplomatic breakthrough.